Sometimes life feels heavier than it looks from the outside. You do your work. You smile. You say you're fine. But quietly, there's a weight you carry, not a breakdown, not a crisis, just a tiredness that never fully leaves. If you've ever felt like that, this is for you. Not to fix anything, just to gently put words to something you've been carrying for a long time. Sometimes there's a quiet heaviness that you only notice when everything finally slows down. It's not dramatic. It's not obvious. It just feels like a small weight sitting somewhere inside you. And if that sounds familiar, you're not the only one. Sometimes there's a heaviness that doesn't really have a reason or shape. It's not like carrying a bag. No one else can see it, but you can feel it. And it usually shows up when things are quiet, when there's nothing to distract you, when you're lying in bed, looking at the ceiling, listening to the fan or the silence, and your mind finally has space to wander. There's that little sigh inside, that feeling of, this is harder than it probably looks. You manage your day. You smile. You say, I'm fine. And in some ways, you are. But underneath, there's effort. Effort to keep going. Effort to act like the version of you everyone expects to see. It isn't loud. It isn't dramatic. Most people would never know. It's just there. A bit of tension in your breathing, a quiet effort in the background all day long. Eventually, it starts to feel normal. You plan your energy. You think before speaking. You open a message, feel too tired to reply, and tell yourself you'll do it later. You sit down at the end of the day and just stare for a moment before doing the next thing. From the outside, you seem organized, capable, calm, even cheerful. But sometimes strong just means you're still standing even when you're tired. A lot of the weight comes from small things, a worry that never fully goes away, a responsibility you carry quietly, a bit of guilt you don't talk about, that belief that you shouldn't fall apart, that you shouldn't trouble anyone. Sometimes it's grief that never had space to speak. Not loud grief, just a soft ache that stays. Sometimes it's fear that sounds silly if you explain it, but doesn't feel silly when you're the one living with it. Sometimes it's simply the pressure to keep going, to stay steady, to hold things together. You may not even call it weight. You may just think, this is life. But your body notices. In tiredness, in tight shoulders, in that pause before you get out of bed when you think, okay, here we go again. And it can feel lonely. Because how do you explain something you don't fully understand yourself? How do you say nothing is wrong but something is without doubting it. So most of the time, you don't say anything. You laugh, you chat, you reply when needed. You get through the day. People think you're doing fine, and in many ways, you are. But inside, things feel a little heavier, like the world takes just a bit more energy for you than it does for others. You see other people move through life easily, laugh easily, react simply, and you quietly wonder why it feels harder for you. Not with jealousy, just quiet curiosity and quiet tiredness. Sometimes you think it shouldn't be this hard, but sometimes it is. Some of the pressure comes from expectations, often your own, to be kind, to be patient, to hold things together. So you stay put together on the outside, but inside your thoughts keep moving. Not dramatic thoughts, just worries, memories, what-ifs, little loops, each one small, altogether heavy. And somewhere along the way, you forget what it feels like to feel truly light, to laugh without anything else behind it, to rest without guilt, to sit quietly without worry humming in the background. You still get small moments of calm, a warm drink, a peaceful walk, a quiet room, a simple conversation where you don't have to try. And for a moment, you breathe a little easier. That tiny bit of ease reminds you how heavy things had become. Then life continues, and the feeling returns, not because you want it to, just because it's been there for a long time. You tell yourself, others have it worse. It's not a big deal. I should be grateful. And maybe that's true. But it doesn't make the feeling disappear. It only makes you feel guilty for having it. So you keep going, day after day. Sometimes you feel proud of that. Sometimes you just feel worn out in a way sleep doesn't fix. People who carry unseen weight often become softer, kinder, more aware that others struggle too. Because you know how easy it is to look okay and still be struggling quietly. So you notice small changes in people, little pauses, tired smiles, and you also learn to keep your own feelings inside. Not because you don't trust anyone, but because the words feel heavy, or you don't want to worry others, or you're not sure how to explain it. So it stays quiet. Sometimes it shows up as forgetfulness, or irritation, or scrolling your phone at night when you should be sleeping. Sometimes it feels like you're still carrying a backpack even when you're sitting down. And at night, when you finally stop pretending, you notice it the most. That slow heaviness in your chest. That mind that doesn't fully rest. That sense that you're a little more fragile than people realize. Human beings hold on to things, responsibilities, stories, fears, unsaid words, goodbyes that never really ended. They don't stay as thoughts, they stay as feelings. And none of this means you're weak. It simply means you're human. Sometimes the hardest part is not the feeling itself, but pretending you don't feel it. And still, you keep going. Not because it's easy, but because life moves forward and you move with it. There's a quiet strength in that. And maybe tonight, while the room is still and the world is softer, there's a small relief in simply admitting it, just to yourself. Yes, there is a weight here. It doesn't need defending or explaining or comparing. It's simply part of your story right now. You may not know where it started, or why it's here, or what it needs. And that's okay. Some feelings don't need fixing straight away. Sometimes they just want to be noticed. So maybe tonight, there's simply this truth. You've been carrying something for a long time, and it has shaped you, slowed you, softened you. It may have made you tired, but it has also made you more aware of how delicate life can feel. And right now, there doesn't need to be a lesson or a solution. Just the quiet understanding that what you feel is real. And you are still here, breathing, thinking, feeling, even in the quiet, even unseen. And for this moment, that is enough. You are enough.